be. And it was not a full day for Aaron Rodgers, because in the last minute of the first half, Rodgers, looking for Kenneth Gainwell, gets hit as he's fading back. And after the play, he grabs at that left wrist. You see him get hit hard by two guys. Would not return to the game after halftime. Mike Tomlin said he'd be reevaluated Monday. Joe Flacco, whoops.
Oh,
Kyle Duggar.
That's the wrong guys.
Yeah.
The black jerseys.
Duggar's not coming back.
Somebody better tackle him.
He's going to go 74, taking it home. So the Steelers up 11 at that point with the defensive score early in the fourth. Here's the chippiness. Kendall Milton stopped. After the play, Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey get in each other's faces. Chase appeared to spit on Ramsey. He took a swipe at him. They caught Ramsey's punch. Ramsey ejected from the game. Here's what he had to say afterwards.
He spit on me, so it's up. I don't give a about football after that, respectfully. I'm always going to be all for trash talking, stuff like that. I actually enjoy that part of the game. I think people know that. But and that's what we was doing. I mean, after the first one, the first little thing, the play before, he tried to like crack block me or whatever. You know what I mean? I got up off that. And then we got up talking or whatever, and he snatched my mouthpiece off my face mask. And then that's when I mushed his face mask, and then whatever. That was just a little scuffle. But the refs told us right there, like, hey, y'all chill, no more of this. Cool, so, you know, I'm knowing, like, all right, no more, you know, let's talk but let's keep it clean so we, you know, everybody staying in, whatever. The next play, same we was talking for real, which I'm cool with. And then, yeah, as soon as he spit, it was that. It was, I mean, yeah, I ain't gonna tolerate that part of it. So.
Jalen, is that one of the most disrespectful things?
It is. That's what do. Quite honestly.
Good. You were saying that you spit on him. Did you spit on him?
I ain't never opened my mouth to that guy.
What do you think prompted the reaction from him?
Well, he don't like some of the words I told him. We've been going back and forth the whole time, so I'm sure some got under his skin.
Just to be clear, you did not spit on him at all. That's what he's saying.
I ain't spit on nobody.
That's a bad look, because we saw it. We saw it on video. He did spit. Certainly in his direction, it looked like it hit him. There's a lot of bad things that happen on a football field. Where's spitting in all that?
This is bad for just sports in general, any sport. And when you're a professional football player, that's why they call you a professional. And a lot of this goes on. Look, I played corner, and I get it. You get into some of these verbal confrontations with the receiver, but when stuff like this happens, then you cross the line. And he's gonna find out how he crossed the line, because the league's the league's antennas are up right now.
Yeah.
When they review the film and they watch it, and you know, in slow motion and everything else, he's going to get a big fine. It'll be interesting to see if they take it further than that, suspended.
Well, we saw Jalen Carter with the Eagles. Remember, basically with the very start of the game against the Cowboys, first game of the season, their best defensive player gets ejected from the game for spitting at Dak Prescott.
Correct. And that cannot be a part of the competition at any sport, any level. That's never good, because we're sitting here talking not about the football game right now. We're talking about guys having a conversation, and then it goes a little over the line, and it's just, you don't want to see that out of two outstanding football players.
Yep.
That's what makes it worse.
Yep.
Right?
Steelers won big.
Need you today, TJ. Make some plays.
Bengals and Steelers. Pittsburgh 1-3 in its last 4 games. Their chance to win the AFC North has taken a nosedive. Entering Week 7, they were 4-1. They had a 79% chance to win the division, compared to 16% for the Ravens. That's completely flipped. Entering today, it's Baltimore with a 62% chance to win that division, despite being 1 game behind the Steelers. And this morning, we welcome Kimberly Martin from windy Pittsburgh, as she's getting set to cover this one for us. Kmart, what is the mindset for the Steelers coming off what was an ugly game against the Chargers?
Well, Greeny, I can tell you for one thing, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to hear all that negativity you were just talking about the division chances and all that. He called that Sunday night performance a, quote, stinker, but he said we don't have to panic. Their tight end, Pratt Freiermuth, said, listen, that was an embarrassing performance against a very good team. We want to get that taste out of our mouths, but to do that, they have got to slow down this high-potent Cincinnati Bengals offense, and, of course, Joe Flacco. Earlier, I caught up with linebacker Patrick Queen to talk about the challenge of facing Flacco. Take a listen.
Yeah, you know, Zach runs a good offense, and it's always been the same offense with both of the Joes and stuff. So it's a challenge. Both of them good quarterbacks. They know football. They know defenses. So it's just about us going out there and being us, playing good defense, playing at a high level and executing.
Now, you guys talked about how you've got a lot to play for. You got to get back on track. But talking to Jamar Chase and Bengals players this week, they've said this is a must-win game for them. They're excited about the possibility of Joe Burrow coming back. As a defense, how critical is it for you guys to set the tone early and make sure that you don't let them sort of have their way early?
Yeah, that's what we get paid to do, is set the tone. Just have fun going out there playing physical football, letting them know it ain't gonna be easy. So the job for us is just make them go earn every single thing. Every blade of grass, we gotta make them earn.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See, set the tone early. That's what the Steelers want to do. Greeny, here, coming into this game, I was worried about the field conditions. Yesterday, I was here for the Notre Dame Pitt game. Obviously, the field is of concern, I thought. So far, it looks good. The real issue is the wind. My crew is holding on to the cameras, to the lights, everything behind me. The wind gusts here. I would expect a big running game type of game for both teams. So we'll see if these 40-year-old quarterbacks can toss it through the air or if they will rely on the ground game.
All right, Kmart, thank you very much. Yeah, they're expecting sustained 21-mile-an-hour winds with big gusts. I'm looking at my quarterback. I'm looking at my receiver. We've got two big-armed quarterbacks in this game. How much of a factor is that condition?
20-mile-an-hour winds is significant. It's not nothing. Definitely will affect the pass game. But listen, like Kmart said it, I mean, these quarterbacks are 100 years old each. They've both played in a lot of cold weather games. Think about where both these guys have been, and they can both still spin it. So I expect them, obviously, as veterans, to be able to navigate it a little bit.
You know, I agree with Alex. They've been around long enough. They've been in a lot of conditions. But if there's one quarterback I'm looking at in this condition, it has to be Joe Flacco. And the reason why is because of the success that he had last game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And where the chemistry that him and Jamar Chase had, man, was unbelievable. You talking about 16 catches for Jamar Chase against this man-to-man coverage that the Pittsburgh Steelers was playing. So today, I look for another big game from the wide receivers, and I think being able to throw the ball outside of the numbers is easier when weather is a factor, opposed to throwing it inside the numbers.
Well, that's interesting, because I actually thought it would be the opposite, but you would know a hell of a lot better than I would about it. The thing is, yes, I understand. My wife just said that Pittsburgh, you mentioned, quit playing all that dang man coverage, all right? And here's why. Like, everybody knows except them. Like, you got Joe Flacco just got, out there. One thing we know, you can't cover Chase and you can't cover Higgins.
No.
All right, in man coverage. And here's the other thing. Alex, is it me or what? Like, it's a heck of a lot easier to pick your matchup versus man coverage when you know it than you got to decipher what zone that they're in. Yeah. So to me, his average throw time last time they played, 2.4 seconds. Like, I don't care if you got T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, or anybody else, Joe Green, rushing the passer. You're not going to get there in 2.4 seconds. Yeah. So what they have to do, they got to flip that defensive script, go multiple coverage schemes, and make it cloudy on Joe Flacco.
And what's got to help him is, there's no Highsmith today, so Herbig, who's been a great productive rusher for them this year, you saw T.J. Watt. That's how they win this football game, getting to Joe Flacco. Because with the win, I don't know how accurate Flacco will be going down the field. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has more playmakers on it. This Bengal defense, it's the worst I've seen this year. Even straight up basic tackling, they can't get it done. So Pittsburgh's got it back.
They're the worst unit in the NFL from a yard standpoint, 32nd. And you flip that to obviously the Pittsburgh offense. They need to rebound, and this is the opponent to do it against. Jalen Warren was kind of the lone bright spot in their offensive game against the Chargers last week. I expect a heavy dose of him today running it against this porous defense.
And quite honestly, like, we were kidding Moss about that with the the reason why the wind affects you more in the middle of the field is because you got to feather the ball and things like that off it. So the touch is more prevalent through the inside numbers than it is on the outside.
All right, fellas, let me jump in for just a
Burrow returned to practice Monday, opening a 21-day window for the QB to return from IR. You know, he had surgery for that turf toe on his left foot in September. Burrow is targeting a return Thanksgiving night against the Ravens. But today it'll be Joe Flacco looking to go 2 for 2 against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, an important division matchup for both of these squads. And with more on this matchup, our Kimberly Martin, first on the field in Pittsburgh, joins us now live. Hello, Kmart, braving that wind and that cold, but still looking fly. What are both teams saying? What's at stake beginning today, Kmart?
Good morning. I'm gonna try to get this out before I blow away from the stadium. Listen, Aaron Rodgers acknowledged not his finest performance on Sunday Night Football, and the whole team, right? Aaron Rodgers had 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and he said the key for us though is just consistency. That's how you play better football. You don't have to make major changes. Nobody has to freak out. We just need to play better. You're going to have a stinker every now and again. And I spoke to tight end Pat Fryermuth, who said, listen, we're not panicking. Last time I checked, we're still in first place in the division. We just need to keep going. We just need to, we believe we're going to play better. But the funny thing is the Bengals also believe that they have a lot to play for. I talked to Jamar Chase this week, who was ecstatic that Joe Burrow is back on the practice field. And he said, listen, honestly, we believe that we can get to the AFC Championship still, despite their record. There's a lot of buzz in this building all week with Joe getting to practice. Jamar told me Wednesday was the first day that him, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow were able to kind of go full speed together. Right now, Joe isn't doing 11 on 11s, but I asked Jamar, how does he look? And he said, I'm going to be honest, he looks as good as ever. When we're on the field, magic happens.
Wow. Yeah, listen, although the Bengals, they've won 2 straight over Pittsburgh Steelers, currently 5.5-point favorites against those Bengals. Kimberly.
Steelers Nation, tonight we celebrate, but we also sober up because this was one of those games that felt like a turning point. The Pittsburgh Steelers tore through the Cincinnati Bengals 34-12, a dominant win, a statement victory, vengeance served cold. But underneath all the cheers, there were warning signs, challenges, and moments that will test who this team really is. Let's unpack it. From the moment the game kicked off, the Steelers looked sharp. On the first drive, veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers found DK Metcalf for a 17-yard catch, setting the tone. The run game opened up with Jaylen Warren exploding for 35 yards into the red zone. Then Rodgers hit Kenneth Gainwell on the screen, and Gainwell took it into the end zone. 7-0 Steelers, confidence skyrocketing. But then, the twist. Rodgers limped off with a bloody hand. The field lit up with possibility and worry at once. The offense had built momentum, but without its veteran leader, what would happen? The Bengals answered via T. Higgins, who caught deep and helped cut the lead. Suddenly, the lights turned bright with concern. The middle of the game turned into a punting duel, 6 consecutive drives that ended in punts. That usually signals slog, fatigue, mistakes. But the difference? The Steelers were playing with poise, discipline. The Bengals were just trying to hang on. Then, in the nick of time, the momentum turned on a big play. Tight end Darnell Washington plowed through defenders for a 31-yard gain. Stiff arms, power moves, the kind of moment that wakes up a crowd. At halftime, Rodgers' status was unclear. The hand injury forced the team into a pivot. Enter Mason Rudolph. No drama, no panic. He came in as the understudy, the second string, and he settled the ship. On his first drive, he completed key third downs, connected with receivers like Roman Wilson and Gainwell, moved into Bengals territory, and the offense finally put points on the board again. 13-9 Steelers. But the game wasn't going to be close, not tonight. The defense then flipped the script entirely. Kyle Duggar intercepted a pass and returned it 73 yards for a touchdown. 29 Steelers. The stadium erupted. The Bengals offense looked disoriented. Then came the next blow. The Bengals fumbled. Cornerback James Pierre scooped it and dashed 34 yards for a defensive TD, 27-12. And just to seal it, offense marched again. Rudolph to Gainwell for 28 yards, first and goal, touchdown, 34-12. Game over. This win meant a lot. It avenged the earlier 33-31 loss to Cincinnati. It put the Steelers in sole possession of first place in the AFC North at 6-4. It showed depth, it showed resiliency, but it also surfaced questions. Questions. What happens with Rodgers? How will the offense adapt if the veteran QB is limited or out? Are the backups ready for extended duty? Are the coaches ready? Will the defense sustain this level? Because while tonight the defense was dominant, holding the Bengals to 12 points, scoring 2 touchdowns, shutting down big targets like Chase and Higgins, every big play always has an offsetting risk. The opponent won't always blink. When you watch the tape, you see the offensive line shine. Rudolph reported that he got barely touched because the protection was clean. That's huge. But you also see mistakes, penalties, and threats like a jolt of lightning in a storm. For example, Bengals running back Chase Brown ripped off 35 yards on one opening carry. Momentum shifts in a flash. The Steelers answered, but that opens the door to complacency. The key is, they answered. And let's talk the emotion in the building. There was an explosion of energy when Rudolph entered the game. There was tension when Rodgers left. There was raw intensity when Duggar took that pick. These are the scenes that define seasons. Not just Friday hype, not just stats, but execution under pressure. Steelers Nation, this is not just a win. This is a checkpoint. A win with cost, yes. A win with questions, yes. A win with hope, absolutely. Because tonight we saw new heroes. Rudolph stepping up, Gainwell running with swagger, Washington imposing himself physically, Duggar and Pierre delivering defense. The heavyweights rose, but the future, that's still being written. So here's where you come in. Do you believe in this crew when the veteran QB is hurt? Do you trust the coaching staff to pivot and stay aggressive? Do you see the Steelers not just as a contender, but as the team that can punch through the AFC North and beyond? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you're fired up by what you just watched, because I sure am, smash that like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire because this ride just got real. Black and gold forever. Let's go.